I felt a little bad dismissing Yukari in my Valentine's Day special, so I wanted to force myself to take a deeper look at her character and find something special and unique about her. First off, I love how she is the only one in the group who picks up on things that the others don't seem to notice. Case in point, Mitsuru's secrets that she's keeping from the others. I love anime, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you can grow a little bit sick of unobservant characters not picking up on an apparent mystery right in front of them. In that sense, Yukari acts as the common sense of the group, making her the most relatable character. We don't think much of the consequences and dangers we face in Persona games due to the turn-based nature gamifying the threat and not making it feel intense or natural, but to these characters, every battle is as fierce an encounter as a multiplayer match is for us, because there are consequences on the line for them, that being their lives. So of course Yukari would want all the information possible if she's risking her life fighting shadows, and for her to pick up on Mitsuru's aloofness and to be annoyed that secrets are being withheld from her makes sense, and this makes her feel like a real character, and not some stereotype like Akihiko or Junpei. I also love how she affects the group dynamic in this way. Persona 3, while a massive revolution for the series that would go on to create the best turn-based JRPG of all time 2 games later, still feels like a Shin Megami Tensei game in terms of tone and art style. So it's really interesting to have a party that isn't all best friends with each other, but has members that have friction with each other and don't share a unified voice. It creates a more authentic dynamic, and Yukari is the catalyst of that friction. Despite being the popular girl stand-in that Ann and Yukiko would later fill in, she's withdrawn and distrustful of her new companions. She doesn't let the narrative steer her in any direction, and will openly object to ideas, and she has the best motivation out of any of the C's members. However, it's not hard to compete with Junpei and Akihiko, who only want status and strength respectively. From a gameplay perspective, she's the only dedicated healer in the party, which makes her an invaluable option, and I end up becoming more interested in the characters I keep in my active party, despite the lack of development during dungeons. Getting into her social link, which comes far too late in the game, we get into the real meat behind Yukari's motivations and personality. In contrast, it's not as hopelessly tragic as other social links, but this one is more likely to hit home with a few players. My family has always been there to support me, but I've known kids who didn't have that support growing up, and they would go on to bully me. Yukari doesn't turn out like that. She doesn't interpret the apathy of her mother as tacit endorsement to live her life as uncaringly as possible. She holds on to the memory of her father, and lets what's not there define her, which I know firsthand is an incredibly hard thing to do. It's that neglect from her mother that made her such a reserved person and grounded character. However, it does make me question how she's meant to be the popular girl in school if she has trouble opening up to people. It's also worth mentioning that she barely ever talks to anyone outside of the party, so it feels like Atlas is trying to have its cake and eat it too. But I do love how Yukari's mother isn't the only focal point of her social link. Many other confidants only have one issue that needs to be resolved, and it feels painfully drawn out for a problem that could be resolved in 5 chapters to take 10. This might be because she's a party member, and already shown many more facets of her personality that can be explored. However, Mitsuru and Fuka's social links are also highly one-track, with Fuka's focus on food feeling freaky. Yukari gets to feel more developed, because the game takes the time to establish her hobbies and interests. She has an eye for fashion and decorating, so we go shopping with her. I would have liked to see more of the archery club side of her life, but I don't need these games getting any longer. Her social link also takes the time to show that she's not just a serious character with a tragic past and a dark secret, but also a quirky and cutesy girl who likes girly things just as much as her archetype implies she would. A bit strange to show us the deep side of her before the surface level, but it's certainly a unique way of conveying a character to the audience. My favourite moment with her has to be the unbelievably creepy security camera recording of her wearing the maid outfit she resented earlier. While it's certainly a poor attempt at a fan service scene, it also shows that she's not above having fun with things either, giving her personality as well as depth. However, the rapey implications of the scene do leave me a bit dubious, but since this scene is optional, it's easy for me to categorize it as non-canon. So it turns out Yukari is a much deeper character than I initially thought. I think I wrote her off because her successors weren't precisely entertaining characters to me, but unlike Ann and Yukiko, Yukari's arc continues well after her dungeon is finished. She adds a new personality type to throw into the group that throws a wrench in the gears rather than helping it spin mindlessly. And while she may not be the best girl, she's certainly more than just another pretty face.